Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I am going to be giving you my Pisces February 2018 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, people, first off is, as far as February goes, the Sun will be in Aquarius from the 1st until the 18th. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So, for Pisces, this could be a very strong concentration of energy, attention, and focus put into one's independence and freedom, perhaps in their private life. It could be about a strong concentration of energy and maybe showing ingenuity in solitude and seclusion. And this could be a time too, because the Sun is about where things are shined on, so to speak. It could shine the light on a hidden adversary or enemy, and it could be somebody, in some cases that could be in Aquarius, or it could simply be, when I say Aquarius, a Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in Aquarius, or it could be simply somebody that might embody those Aquarius-like characteristics, or could be somebody in a profession connected with it, so the sign Aquarius. And also this could be about one's focus and concentration of energy and attention on one's future, in terms of maybe what's going to be done about one's restrictions and one's limitations, and how that's going to and how those maybe limitations or restrictions may impact one's future, and also showing perhaps a lot of humanitarianism in maybe help and selflessness in helping those that are less fortunate, such as the impoverished, homeless, and oppressed. Next thing up, as far as February goes, the Sun will be in Pisces from the 18th until the 28th. So the first house of what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, this could be about a strong attention, concentration of energy and focus, perhaps put into compassion, idealism, and imagination, perhaps on really on oneself, and especially if this is actually hitting the literal first house in one's natal chart, the physical body, showing really care and compassion for it, and also in really showing, really emphasizing the shining the light on strong Pisces characteristics, such as being a philanthropic, charitable, and showing this perhaps on a first impression, and how these attributes can also, what they can do, they can impact your outlook as well. And also could be a lot of this concentration of power and attention put into idealism and new beginnings, or new beginnings that are connected with something Pisces related, such as the metaphysical, which can include astrology, spirituality, photography, chemistry, things that are connected maybe with fantasy or illusion, such as doing something with special effects. So anyway, well, next thing up is the new moon will be in Aquarius on February 15th. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, well, Pisces may embark on perhaps a new, unusual, unorthodox, even unconventional, perhaps interest in seclusion. It could be something Aquarius-like that is initiated in seclusion, such as something connected with the astronomy, astrology, any other esoteric subject, computers, electronics, even something of an innovative nature. And this could also be, in some cases, it could be a new clandestine affair with somebody that might be an Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply somebody that embodies Aquarius-like characteristics, such as somebody rather unusual, eccentric, unorthodox, ingenious. Also, too, and in some cases, I believe this could also be something where maybe a new hidden adversary may really start at this point, so to speak. It might be the beginning of a new adversary in some cases, which could be somebody that could be an Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply somebody that embodies those characteristics. So anyway, Next thing up is Mercury will be in Aquarius as far as February goes from the 1st until the 18th. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces at this time. So for Pisces, well, this could be about really using a lot of ingenious thinking in private and in solitude and seclusion. It could be a time where you might be a little bit less loquacious and talkative than others because we are talking about Mercury and the 12th house at this time. So also another thing about, we were talking about Mercury in Aquarius and the 12th house. This could be a lot of really thinking maybe very selflessly, perhaps about maybe people that are less fortunate than yourself, such as the oppressed, the impoverished, the homeless, and maybe thinking about ways and formulating ideas perhaps to maybe help those people and a lot of those people that maybe can't help themselves. So also maybe thinking outside the box, so to speak, regarding one's limitations and one's restrictions. And also there might be a lot of this contemplating and thinking about one's possible hidden adversaries or hidden enemies, and those people really maybe thinking of some ideas and some really unique thoughts on how to perhaps weed them out, so to speak, and really from the people that might be your friends and really the ones maybe pretending to be your friends, can you possibly weed them out? And doing so maybe in really thinking of original ways to maybe do that. So anyway, next thing up is Mercury will be in Pisces as far as February goes from the 18th until the 28th. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So anyway, this could be a time where Pisces might be surprisingly more loquacious, more talkative at this time. It could be where Pisces might be doing a lot of talking regarding Pisces, like things such as things connected with fantasy, illusion, photography, things associated with the metaphysical such as astrology, perhaps spirituality, and really in talking in ways that's very idealistic. And really this could be a time where Pisces might be doing a lot of their communications and just in general being more communicative. And it could even be in the form of writing, and it could be really like, you know, like fantasy writing. And at this time too, keep in mind, I mean, you're also talking about Mercury does rule thieves as well, and we are talking about the first house. So it's time for Pisces to be really careful about not coming into contact with these people that could be really very deceptive and duplicitous, especially considering that we are talking about Pisces energy. So anyway, next thing up is Venus will be in Aquarius as far as February goes from the 1st until the 10th. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, this could be really perhaps expressing a love of innovation and other Aquarius-like things in solitude and seclusion. I mean, such as astrology or astronomy, aerospace, electronics, computers, things. This could be the love of really maybe new technology as well, things that are very high tech. And Pisces might wind up spending money perhaps on things that are connected with computers and electronics, maybe to work on limitations, whether it's something learning, or it could be something where one, you know, maybe is not happy with their body, for example, and such as like high-tech weightlifting equipment, which is computerized and electronic. Also keep in mind too that Venus, and you're talking about Aquarius in the 12th house, this could be a time for maybe maybe a clandestine affair might take place in some isolated cases, and it could be with an Aquarius sun, moon, or ascendant, or somebody that simply embodies those characteristics. This could also be about maybe unusual or even paradoxical type spending might lead to one's self-undoing at this time. And it also might be about some financial limitations and restrictions during this period as well. Next up, Venus will be in Pisces as far as February goes from the 10th until the 28th. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, well, Pisces may exude maybe a little bit more of a deceptive charm at this time than usual, maybe to get what he or she wants. This would be a time too where Pisces might come off and really looking more attractive than usual and focusing strongly on their beauty, really on looking attractive and more beautiful and whatever, and if it's a male, more handsome. And this could be about really maybe wearing Pisces often is connected with clothing that might fit loosely, or it might be something connected, it might be something mystical that Pisces might wear, or some garb that appears mystical, something that could be Pisces-like, that maybe Pisces would wear at this time. And remember, the Pisces can be a little bit like a chameleon, so it could be many different changes and many different outfits, it fits and looks at this time. So also there might be more money that is spent on oneself than usual at this time, and the spending Pisces energy could be a little bit unrealistic at times, so that's something to be careful of at this time. And the Pisces, the things that might be purchased might be self-centered purchases. They might be Pisces related things, such as items connected, say, with the metaphysical, such as astrology. It could be things connected with water, such as things associated maybe with swimming, or other Pisces items, things connected with spirituality, etc. So anyway, next thing up is, well, Mars will be in Sagittarius still, so the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, this could be a lot of philosophical differences, perhaps with people in authority. It could be the dominant parent, which is often the father, superiors, and it could also be about arguments with these people that might be connected with sports and religion as well. And at the same time, just in general, the situation with the dominant parent, authority figures, older people that really just those people, they might be more contentious and acrimonious than usual, and there could be arguments really with that veritable Sagittarius truth, so to speak. And also at the place in one's career, one needs to be careful of perhaps a greater propensity for accidents with a lot of that foolhardy Sagittarius energy going on. Also too, this could be about really getting into more arguments, maybe in really more contentious situations with others regarding maybe their reputation and public image. And if some of Pisces is being slandered, for example, this could be a time where Pisces might become more incensed than usual regarding it. At the same time, this could be about really maybe with a superior or manager at the place you're at in your career, or maybe with the dominant parent, which is often the father. Might be a good time to work off that, that anger and aggression, maybe doing something in the outdoors, whether it's jogging or some outdoor sports or activity, or doing some vigorous exercise such as working out, something sports related. So anyway, next thing up, Jupiter will still be in Scorpio. So the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces at this time. So for Pisces, well, this could be about, keep in mind Jupiter can be, as I've stated before, it's very benign and benevolent, but it could also be paradoxical. It could be where there might be an expansion of surreptitious and even nefarious activity in some cases connected with one's in-laws and grandchildren. And this could all, if applicable, and at the same time, this could be about perhaps some luck and fortune connected with making one major change or transformation in one's philosophical outlook. There could be perhaps a lot of exuberance and enthusiasm associated with something Scorpio-like that might be taken as some higher education course, such as maybe astrology. I don't know if that's accredited in any colleges, but I believe you could do, courses online, for example, and or something with the occult, supernatural, or anything else associated with Scorpio, such as locksmithing, magic, alchemy, or learning or even doing something else that could be Scorpio, like such as forensics, psychology, psychiatry. So anyway, next thing up is Saturn will be in Capricorn still, so the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, well, this could be a period where Pisces might feel that there might be some restrictions and limitations associated with one's friends and acquaintances, even goals and aspirations that might leave Pisces feeling somewhat despondent and melancholy and very sad. This could also be a time, in some cases, where maybe the father might figure more prominently in one's goals and aspirations, or maybe the goals and aspirations might be tied in to something Saturn related, such as perhaps the government, for example. So I mean, and just something that could be Saturn related, or maybe getting maybe some position that it might be, like I said, government, politics related even. So anyway, and it could be something where it could be something responsibility, and also maybe something where where your aspirations and goals, where there's more structure and discipline at them at this time than usual, and it's really about really about, as far as the future goes, being very serious about this as well. Next thing up, Uranus will be in Aries still, so the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, well, this could be at times where you might experience some financial fluctuations at this time, and the monetary situation might be a little bit erratic and sporadic. And also, this could be a time too where you might, where the value, maybe the value system is literally going through some fluctuation, so to speak, and your self-esteem may be as well. At the same time, this could be a point where you're talking about Uranus energy in the second house, where you might make money and generate income at this time through something Uranus-like. I mean, it could be something connected with an esoteric subject such as astrology, innovation, even something where computers, electronics, something associated with Uranus is where you could be making money at this time. So those are some things to look at. And it could be some shocking things that might happen, and very unpredictable things that might happen at this time in matters connected with your possessions and as far as how you're generating income. So next thing up, Neptune will still be in Pisces, so the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, this could be about strong, in some cases, this could be really a dissipation and dissolving of one's vitality, especially if this is hitting the sun or it's actually hitting the ascendant in one's chart. Now, at the same time, this could be a time where Pisces might be coming across a little bit more than usual. Pisces could be like this anyway, but even more nebulous and really a little bit more unclear than usual. And Pisces might be feeling that maybe they're at this time that even their objectives, or there's something connected with them where they don't really feel as much direction than usual. That being said, looking at this, that Pisces needs to be very careful at this time, because Neptune does, of course, it rules drugs and alcohol, that there could be a greater propensity for this at this time than usual. And Pisces is already really, I think, of all the zodiac signs, the most susceptible to that kind of activity. And also, it could be a time where Pisces might be, even if it's inadvertent drug assimilation, such as radon in the home. Those are some things to consider. And also, at this time too, there might be some confusion and ambivalence regarding maybe new beginnings as well, or new beginnings might be associated with something Neptune related, such as the metaphysical, which includes astrology, something with spirituality, chemistry, photography, dancing, poetry, something of that, something that might be Neptune, Pisces related. Next thing up, Pluto will still be in Capricorn, so the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, well, I know a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word. It sounds like I'm being overly morbid or morose, but you know I'm going to say it anyway. This could be in some isolated cases. It could be the death of a friend, of an acquaintance. In many cases, though, this could be about the obliteration and destruction of one's goals and aspirations. But remember that Pluto is about rebirth and regeneration, so these could be supplanted and they could be rebuilt, so to speak. It also could be about maybe have something connected with transformation, might be tied into one's goals and aspirations. And I mean, whether it could be recycling or doing something with vehicles, like rebuilding vehicles or transforming cars. Those could be some things to look at, or something with the supernatural, occult, and sometimes it could be, astrology could be in this mix, and could be tied into one's goals and aspirations and one's future at this time. So it also could, in some cases, can be some power struggles going on with one's friends, and maybe in some cases you might see a friend or acquaintance maybe showing some kind of obsessive or compulsive issues, or maybe you're showing in some cases some obsessive issues maybe with a friend. So or even with goals and aspirations and matters pertaining to your future. So anyway, next thing up is the North Node will still be in Leo, so the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, I mean, keep in mind when the North Node is in transit, it is often about what we have to confront. And what it could be at this time for Pisces, it could be about maybe having to confront or deal with somebody at their workplace or place of employment that might be rather domineering, arrogant, bombastic, and even overbearing. And maybe even having to deal with maybe having to be a little bit extravagant and more generous, so to speak, in health-related matters and maybe work-related matters. If this is something connected with a business, especially where Pisces has to spend money to make money, that could be even more evident. Even with pets too, if there is some issue where they have to be more magnanimous, so to speak, maybe, or whether it's with the time with pets or it's where they're having to spend actual money on them, there might be more extravagance connected with pets at this time where Pisces has no choice but to fork over more money. In some cases, this could be about a Leo-like health issue that needs to be addressed, such as something with the heart or something with the upper back maybe. This could be, and really, it could be too about using, trying to use that near inexorable Leo energy, so to speak, and near indefatigable Leo energy, which Pisces may not be able to handle because Pisces is not a sign noted for strong stamina and constitution, etc., especially if this is making an inconjunct from the 6th house to one's 1st house in one's natal chart. So anyway, next thing up is the Black Moon Lilith will still be in Capricorn, so the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, well, this could be about, in some cases, I mean, Black Moon Lilith could be about a revelation and unveiling, and this could be a time where maybe somebody that they saw as a friend or an acquaintance might be unveiled at this time, showing very negative, really some negative Capricorn like tendencies that might be really tyrannical or ruthless and overambitious. In some cases too, Black Moon Lilith can be about what can put one in a strong state of fear and trepidation. And in this particular case, this could be about maybe having a limited or restricted situation with one's friends and acquaintances, and even matters pertaining to one's goals and aspirations, and not being able to even get involved in groups or organizations. This could be something where that could really put Pisces in that strong state of dread and fear at this time. And also, in some cases too, this could be a revelation or an unveiling of somebody that could be a formidable adversary. I believe in some cases can actually be a sun, moon, or ascendant in Capricorn, or simply somebody that embodies Capricorn-like characteristics. That could be somebody that really was maybe it was a friend at one time, or might be somebody that may be involved and maybe in a group or organization that you might be affiliated with. So anyway, and the next, and also in some cases for Pisces, sadly, this could be about maybe a revelation of maybe a depressing maybe situation that might be involving them in one of their friends, and maybe just their general outlook for the future that they didn't want to come out, and maybe somehow it gets the cat is left out of the bag, so to speak. Well, last but not least, Chiron will still be in Pisces, so the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Pisces. So at this time for Pisces, well, this could be about, well, you're talking about the first house, and this could be at a time where Pisces, in some cases, especially if this is the literal first house in one's natal chart, where they might really succumb to some actual physical Pisces suffering in some cases. I mean, Chiron could be about emotional wounds, but also physical. So it could be something connected with the feet, the toes, the lymphatic system, and also what this could be as well is that Pisces in general might be going through some emotional suffering, maybe about just being, just in general, being more deceived, being more gullible than usual, maybe having unrealistic, maybe going after new beginnings that were unrealistic, or maybe just general confusion and ambivalence over new beginnings for Pisces. It could also be something, maybe there's some betrayal or deception that was associated with somebody Pisces knew from their early childhood, which is causing some emotional suffering at this time for Pisces. And it could be also about maybe not leaving the best first impression on people. Pisces, and I'm not saying this to be too derisive or negative about Pisces, but Pisces, I mean, say going in for an interview and trying to leave a good impression. Pisces is not always known to be the meticulous dresser. They're really, because they are the opposite of Virgo, keep in mind, people. And the thing about it is Pisces can be a little bit disheveled, and even when they try to, they go for an interview, I think a lot of Pisces don't always have everything, buttoned up right. So I think it's important for Pisces to remember that to avoid, this kind of suffering by not making a good first impression is to make sure you're doing due diligence, and you're doing the more Virgo-like premeditating, maybe, even though you're not Virgo, but Virgo-like things more, to get more, to plan ahead more, to leave a better first impression, whether it's actually dressing in the right way, and also, just by planning and knowing how you're going to act when that time comes. So anyway, and also the emotional suffering wounds could be tied in to maybe just being overly passive and not aggressive enough and being assertive enough in situations. So anyway, people, well, last but not least, as far as Chiron and Pisces and first house energy, people, keep in mind that Chiron is the wounded healer. So with the suffering that Pisces might be going through in connection with the Chiron and Pisces and the first house energy, they could help others going through comparable situations, but they could do so perhaps with that Pisces-like self-sacrifice, empathy, and compassion. Anyway, people, that will conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Pisces February 2018 horoscope forecast. And stay tuned next time, where I'm going to be talking about, in my opinion, what I think is the worst astrological degree. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.